Is cursing a curse word?
No.
I will say one thing though, man.
What's that?
The more cursing there is in the video, the less YouTube promotes it and the less views you'll get. And that's
there you go.
That's the truth. I'm seeing it. Seeing it happen. Here we go. Hey everybody, it's Johnny Beane, John Mancuda, and David Nesdall.
Hello.
What's up, man? Men?
Men. Men.
Oh my gosh. Wow. What time is it? It's 5:10 p.m. out here in beautiful Santa Cruz. Oh my gosh, it's amazing out there today. August 27th, 2019. And here we are. Thumbs up, everybody.
Tuesday.
Got 30 watching, 17 thumbs ups.
Joe Herbie, my fellow Jew.
Hey, Joe. Isn't that a song? Hey Joe?
It is.
Hey, Joe, where you running with that gun of yours?
It's public domain anyway, so I could play that on here.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
And it's after a minute. I can curse.
Is it? Minute 41.
Yeah. Not that I need to right now, but I'm sure the occasion will arise.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So who? Let me see who's in here. We got Jasko's Plumbing Supply. There you are, Jasko. Good to see you. Soda. Hey now.
Hey now.
Hey now. Phil Mosley Music. What's up, Phil? R2R3 Locky Nut. Hey, dude. Jim Nicholas. Upside Down. M. McFly. Brian Stewart. Fret Level Midnight. Gary Tholander. Eduardo Martino Porto. John Windsor. And Dr. Jimmy.
That's it?
And John BL 5150.
We got
and Tube Scipio.
Upside Down. Steve Carmichael.
Steve Carmichael. Dude, I just accepted your thing on Facebook, man. Welcome.
Wait, he sent you a photo of his thing?
No. AI Gaming. Although Steve Carmichael, I really don't post on Facebook that much. So I'm going to have to start now, though, man. Huh?
Renus Pinkle.
Renus Pinkle's in here. Joe Hervey 84. Fruitcake Tony.
Halface Janice Lala. Ben Coombs. Did we miss anyone? Dave Nesdall, Johnny Beane.
Yeah.
What's up?
Wow.
That's how I earn money for guitars.
Let's see. Let's clip that.
Is Jay off tonight?
Jay doesn't do Tuesdays anymore.
Did I miss something?
He doesn't like you.
Well, nobody likes me, but here they are. Did you guys draw straws on that one?
What do you mean?
You were all like, all right, look, one of us gets to leave Mancuda's day. Okay.
Mine. I drew this one.
Yeah. This was mine. I apparently mine wasn't short enough.
Jay was like, yes.
It's the only time I ever get to say mine wasn't short enough.
Oh.
Wow. Hey, Zach. Good to see you. Good to see everybody.
Thank you for that level midnight.
Yes.
Did Ron Johnson get a new microphone? Awesome. What? He sounded good on his stream today.
My stream was in the shower today.
That's gross. You pee in the shower? That's gross.
Stick around. It gets better. Hang in there.
That's why people are dropping like flies on Tuesday night.
I thought it was the smell of my bullshit.
Yeah, I checked out some of Rob's Can I say that? Rob's stream.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Chris Hubbard. I watched some of it for a little bit.
Ron
Me too.
Sharon.
So what? He got a new mic?
I guess so. I didn't realize it until after listening to it. I'm like, oh yeah, he sounds good. It sounds nice and clear. Unless he fixed the old one.
That's like the skipper fixing the SS Minnow.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Abduction going on. You didn't even notice.
You're on live.
Hi, Desiree.
Live yet. Awesome. Okay. Just great.
Sorry, we've been on live for now 5 minutes and 53 seconds.
Let's see. We're getting a kick-ass rare 80s guitar again today, Mancuda. Fret level midnight. And Mancuda's with a K, just to correct you. We are getting a guitar from, we're getting two guitars, but one you've seen before, but there's a reason it's revisiting today. And we are getting a guitar from 1991. So that's today's special guitar.
Yes, and then there's one on my end here that we're gonna actually. I kind of debuted it Saturday night, but after getting some fretwork done to it today, it's amazing, and it's gonna be full blown Guitar Dave today.
Nice.
New Guitar Dave. Yeah.
Thank you, Upside Down. Shout out. Thank you, brother. Let's see.
Wow, I'm excited. I have a feeling of what the guitar, the revisiting guitar. I have a feeling what that is.
John BL 5150, right back at you. God's dogs.
Oh, that must have been cool. We should talk about that tonight. And so to know it's not the Flame, I'm going to build the Flame guitar Friday. I already made the appointment. Actually, the appointment was made with me today. That we will be putting it together on Friday here at the house. It's going to be fun.
Awesome.
So I should have it ready for Friday night's show.
Cool.
Or at least for a look. I don't know that it'll be completely set up. It'll be together, strings on it, and it'll have a basic setup. But I don't like to do setups on my guitars when they're brand new until like maybe two or 3 days after I get them, because I want them to acclimate to being together first. It doesn't make sense to do a full-on setup when you're first putting a guitar together, because everything moves for the first few days. So
that's smart, actually.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
James Gum, how are you, man?
Huh? Fret level midnight? You used to follow what?
9 years ago.
You used to follow me 9 years ago?
Back in my day, when this is when we used to go to the well for water and walk to school 30 miles. I remember that Johnny Beane. Johnny Beane. Now, he used a telegraph back then, and he was on telegraph. You could get telegraph messages back then. Oh, the technology.
That's right.
TV was still live.
Oh my gosh.
By the way, did you guys know that the VMAs, the Video Music Awards, was on last night?
Yeah, it has nothing to do with music anymore.
I didn't even know, and I'm not lying about this. I'm not trying to be funny. I was born funny. But I literally didn't know that MTV was like still on. I didn't even think it was still a channel. I had no freaking idea MTV was still there playing music videos.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's
not music.
That's the funny thing is MTV is still around, but it's all reality TV, and they have a Video Music Awards for videos they don't even play.
Yeah, and rap.
Mm-hmm.
They had
because that's good music.
They used to call it the Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Award for I guess lifetime achievement, and then they just changed it to just the Video Vanguard Award. But there's like all this controversy now. Some people like fighting for the name Michael Jackson to be on it, and some people like, no, not after what's going on.
Yeah, it should be the Jay-Z Award Vanguard.
No, like some people want it to stay Michael Jackson because of his legacy, and some people like, but he's a pedophile. And some people are like, that's not proven. You know, there's a whole controversy with that. And I'm just like, I didn't even know there was an MTV.
Yeah. Man.
Fruitcake Tony, how are you, brother? You know what's funny? Do you guys remember when MTV first came out?
Yes, 1981.
Right. And, you know, in the original song, you know, Video Killed the Radio Star.
Sure.
But the big thing was getting MTV in stereo. So, like, if you got legit MTV, you could get, you know, when you subscribe, you would get, like, this extra speaker and an attachment that, like, turned your television into stereo so you could, you know, hear the music like you would on your sound system.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know that about the extra speaker.
I didn't have that because A, I was poor as dirt, and B, we were stealing the cable. So, you know, we had one of those illegal boxes you buy on the street, you know. And so I didn't have MTV in stereo, but like I remember, like, you know, through the night you turn on MTV and it's like there's the Scorpions, you know, rocking that cage, and here I am, rock you like a hurricane, you know.
Yeah.
But I didn't even know MTV was still on, much less it's not. I know it's not relevant, but I was just wondering, like, you know, wow, did anyone know? Did you guys in the chat know this? That MTV was still on?
I actually thought it was VH1. I thought it turned into VH1 recently, or they stopped just doing MTV and it was just VH1. Because I think MTV is under the VH1 blanket or whatever they call that. I think VH1 owns MTV.
Mad Dog says the new Michael Jackson award is shaped like a kid's penis.
Oh gosh. Oh my goodness.
Something shouldn't be repeated.
I just love the comment. So I'm going with it.
I didn't get MTV till '83, so a couple years later. But I remember one of the first videos I ever saw on MTV was Jump, Van Halen's Jump. You know, which would have been, I guess, in '84. Yeah.
That was when there was definitely an MTV. You'd watch it.
I only got to see MTV on the weekends because my dad had cable, but I didn't.
So was it your parents were divorced?
Mm-hmm.
I got you. So you'd want to go to your dad's house?
Well, yes and no, because I only got to see MTV when my father wasn't sitting on the couch watching sports all day. Because, you know, Saturday and Sunday is big sports days. And
Sunday,
he loved football and baseball and, you know, all that stuff. So I got to watch it, like, if he went to the restroom or, you know, if he had to go get something to eat, I'd turn on MTV real quick and watch a video or maybe half a video.
The first song you learned on guitar was let's see. Thomas Santiago, how are you, man? Drop says TV was our sound system. It was one of those big cabinet TV record player types. I had one of those too, and you'd slide open the cabinet, and like there's the turntable, and then down below was the big television. The problem is I was like sticking action figures in there, and my parents like, get the shit out of there. We're trying to watch TV. I'm like in front of the screen with G.I. Joe. That's what I call it, G.I. Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My grandma had one of those. It wasn't the TV version. No, it wasn't the TV version, but it was the piece of furniture that you opened it up and it had the turntable.
Yeah, with like the doors would open up. These doors you could open, these, you know, folding doors in front of the screen. My grandmother had one of those wooden doors, like the Ark of the Covenant opening for Indiana Jones. The doors would swing open. And then General Hospital would come on, and that would be the day.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So Cameron Brown is watching us on his Xbox, so he can't talk in the chat. And he just texted and asked. He asked me to tell a story on how I started playing guitar. And I don't know if this is just for me or maybe for all three of us.
I'd love to know it.
So I'll say it. When I was 5 years old, my grandmother owned the whole property that we live on, and I was maybe throwing a baseball around outside, and she had asked, so hey, would you like to learn guitar? And I didn't know anybody. I was like, sure, yeah, okay, I'll learn guitar. So at the time, one of her tenants that lived across from us played guitar and gave guitar lessons, and she said to him, I'll make you a deal. I'll take $100 off your rent each month if you buy my grandson, a nice little guitar and give him lessons. And that's how it started for me.
Why didn't I get that offer?
It was a very nonchalant thing. Hey, Dave, would you like to play guitar? And I was like, okay, like that. It was.
What did he buy you? What guitar did he buy you?
It was a 1958 or 59 Les Paul Jr.
What the fuck?
Back then they were $80, $90. They weren't expensive back then. We're talking 1975. I had no idea what it was. The only reason I know now what it was is because I had pictures from back then of me playing the guitar, so I know what it is.
Hearing that story makes me want to put a gun in my mouth. Dude, I got a Sears acoustic vinyl string guitar, and I got pulled by my hair to the lessons I didn't want to take.
Yeah. I really wish I still had that guitar. I didn't know what I had. No one said this is going to be valuable one day. It was just happened to be an inexpensive guitar that the guy bought me. It was a name brand. I didn't know anything from name brands at 5 years old. It was Brian S. It was a Les Paul Jr. One pickup, one P90. Back then they were basically junior guitars. They were for beginners back then. So that's what I was, and that's what was available. So that's what I got. But I had no idea what it was. No, and again, no one said, "Hold on to this, young man. This is going to be a valuable guitar one day." Little did we all know. Who knew?
Yeah, they always said to me, "Hold on to this, young man." And I got molested.
So what happened to the guitar?
I sold it a long time ago. I mean, like when I was really young, because I wanted to get an acoustic guitar, so I sold it.
Traded you.
I sold it for an acoustic guitar, I think when I was 11 or 12.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, could you imagine if I knew Nesdal as a kid? It's like, hey, you want to trade guitars? All I got is this crummy Sears vinyl string acoustic. Oh, I want that. Here, do you want this Lee's Pool? Yes. I probably would have grown up to become the guitarist of Rat or something.
Only I have stories like this.
No shit. Nesdal leads a charmed life. I don't understand.
Oh, you're welcome, Cameron. You're welcome.
Is that Cameron?
That was Cameron Brown said thank you. Thank you.
Hey, Cameron. Hello. Hello, Cameron.
Johnny says, oh, actually, I'm sure you can hear him.
Tell him I'm saying hello.
Yeah, he can hear you.
I'll tell him. Hey, Cameron, I'm saying hello. Cameron, I'm saying hello to you.
Yeah, Joe Hervey, I cut a little hair, yeah. Just this one.
Mm-hmm.
So there's my story,
Oh,
and I'm sticking to it.
I love you, Dave, but I hate you.
I hate me too, because I should own that guitar today, and I don't.
Mm-hmm. We should all own that guitar.
Yeah, no shit.
I'd play it.
Well, for $5,000, you can own it. About $5,000 is what they go for.
And it's one pickup.
Two-tone sunburst, single cut.
And does it have the wraparound tailpiece?
Yeah.
So you can't intonate it.
You can. You can get an aftermarket one.
You can upgrade it. Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I trim my Jufro, and Fear My 3-inch says I cut some hair too down there. I always cut that hair.
Cameron says hello, Johnny.
Tell him I said hey.
You did that already.
There's so much love going on in this room with Cameron. Jim Nicholas says the Duran Duran guitar is on the back shelf. That's CC DeVille's Nagel right behind me.
Was that
Awesome.
actually his?
That's his.
Did you show that once before?
14 Nagels. That's his original.
That's the one from the video.
Yes.
Wow.
Videos. Lots of videos.
Wow, that's cool. Did you show that once before?
I had that one on the show. Yeah.
Was that last week you showed it when
No,
I wasn't on?
It was a while ago.
Yeah, months ago.
It was a while.
What did you show last week since I wasn't here? What did you show?
I showed.
He stood up.
I showed an ESP Kamikaze, the neon green one, but with an ebony board and a banana head stock.
I love that guitar.
That's a custom one because usually they have that buzz saw.
Hate that.
Yeah, I hate it too, and that's why I got the banana.
Mm-hmm.
I got the banana.
Did you get that from Scott Campbell?
No, but Scott has.
He has
Scott
a few of
has
them,
one.
and he's got more than one, and he's got maple neck ones as well.
I have a maple neck one also, but the neck, I don't know. The way the neck feels on the maple, I don't like it as much.
Oh, okay.
The ebony one, the neck is a little smoother.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool.
And Super Fuzz, I have 14 BC Rich Nagel Gunslingers. I have a Nagel PV Vandenberg because he's asking how many. And that Nagel particularly is or was CC DeVille's. That's CC's original Nagel. And then let's see. I showed another guitar last week. What I have? I had a Jackson. Johnny, what was it? It was a Jackson, right?
I think so.
Soloist.
Let me see. I should have a picture.
What color?
Gold Sparkle Jackson Soloist with a Bengal Tiger design.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
that's
wow.
right.
Gold sparkle Bengal.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
watch the rerun. It's nice. It's gold
I will watch it.
Sparkle. Huh?
I will watch it.
It's Gold Sparkle with a nice Bengal design. It's neat.
We'll talk about Bengals. Wow, look at that.
There it is.
No, that's nice.
Thank you.
We'll talk about Bengal Tigers a little bit later today.
I have a feeling I know what guitar you're bringing. Thank you, Jasco Plumbing Supply.
No,
For all your toilet
Yeah.
needs, Jasco.
That's killer. That guitar is absolutely killer.
That's fun.
I'll take it.
All right. You just got to pick it up in person, bro.
You know what? I'll even drop off one of my striped guitars for you. I'll trade.
There we go. Let's see. So tonight, I guess I'll get right into it because you guys all know the Pat's Dogs commercial with Cinderella.
Oh man,
A running thing on the show. You guys were here when I got the actual guitar Tom Keifer of Cinderella played in the music video, and I knew he was coming around to Los Angeles at one point. So I reached out to his people and some mutual friends and said, hey, when Tom comes out, can I, go to the show and show him the guitar and have him sign it? So I go down there, and Kyle, Tom's tour manager, super nice guy. Shout out if you're watching, Kyle. Thank you. Gave me a VIP bracelet for the show. Set me up in a seat, and went back there with the guitar, and basically got it signed before the show, just in case, while Tom had some downtime, and Tom signed the guitar, then sent it back for me to watch the show, then met me afterwards, like an hour after the show, to talk about it. So here's a photo just to go along with this. Here's when the guitar arrived at the show. Just figured I'd close it with the stage setup. And here's Tom in the what's called the Keifer band now, just rocking along. Great set, by the way. His voice sounds really good, which is hard because the guy had, always been that raspy, hardcore voice. And, he had 6 surgeries, almost lost his voice for a time because of paralysis to one of his cords. And then after the show, went up to the tour bus, talked for a little while about the guitar. Here's Tom with the guitar.
Oh, cool, man.
That's awesome.
There we go. And he gave me a lot of insight on it. Basically, he said, he basically looked at it. He was like shocked to see it. And he said, one of my roadies gives me, busts my balls about that commercial all the time. And he's like, just 3 days ago, we were literally talking about this guitar. And, he was very surprised to see it, but he looked at it. He's like, here's all the tape marks. I used to love taping up guitars. And I asked him, I said, were you a Van Halen fan? What was the deal with you putting those Van Halen stripes on? He's like, no, even today, I tape things. I tape up sleeves on my clothing. I tape up, backs of guitars, fronts of guitars. He said it was just a design thing. So different than what I was thinking. I thought it was a Van Halen copy. He confirmed that it wasn't, that he just liked the look of stripes. And I said, did you ever have, guitars with Floyd's? Because a friend of mine said, hey, I got this guitar from a luthier. I don't know what the deal is, but they said Tom owned it. Could you ask him if he knows anything about it? I showed him the guitar. It was a red Kramer. And Tom said, I've never owned this guitar before. I only had one Kramer in my life, briefly. It was a blue Kramer, and I wanted to buy it to see what a Floyd Rose was. Because I heard, hey, these guys are doing these dive bombs and stuff. Let me try it. And he just hated it. So he basically, if you guys know Tom Keifer, even through the 80s, he was really a Gibson player. He loves Les Pauls and Firebirds and Explorers, and he just doesn't like Floyd's. So, but that particular time, he wanted to try one.
I think he also played a Zemaitis. He played Zemaitis. I think he also played Zemaitis guitars or Zemaitis. I think he had an original Zemaitis as well.
I'm not sure. Did that have a Floyd though?
No. Zemaitis is like they're like metal bodied guitars that look like Gibsons.
Okay,
they're very expensive. They're really expensive guitars.
The guy in the Pretenders played one, I think.
I could see that.
Maybe.
John Silas plays one.
He likes those fixed bridges.
Yeah, but Sean's like a reissue. Zemaitis was, I think they might be made in Korea now, but they're really expensive reissues. They're not cheap, but they're not like expensive like the originals. The originals are like 20 grand or more. They're expensive.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yes, Ronnie Wood uses them too, Jim.
He played through the show. He played. He had a black Les Paul. He had two different Explorers, and he had a Firebird. All Gibsons. I'm not sure of the years. And then his tour guy gave me a bunch of picks to go with the guitar. So you can see I got 3 of Tom's and one of his other guitarists. So that's cool. And they're coming out with a new album on September 13th called Rise, which, it sounds like Cinderella, basically. It's Tom's voice and heavy guitars. It sounds good. They played a couple of tracks from it. So that should be interesting. I can't wait to get a copy of that. And then, best of all, he's like, how do you want the guitar signed? So here's our revisit of the guitar. And if you look at it, it says Pat's Dogs, the cook is never tired, Tom Keifer.
That's awesome.
How cool is that?
Oh, that's so awesome, dude.
Yeah. And he told me the story behind the guitar, how he got it. I said, what, I'm curious, what made you buy an Iceman? Because, you're a Gibson guy. It's like, well, this was so early on in the history of the band. I needed a backup guitar. I only had one guitar. And I wanted a second guitar. So I saw an ad for a guitar playing contest. And first prize was an Ibanez Iceman. And that was basically it. He went in with the intention that, hey, I'm a really good guitarist. I can win that guitar. And sure as shit, there it is. He won. So this was basically his second guitar, and you know, he used it in the early days of Cinderella, and you know, he liked the shape of it. He liked that it had a fixed bridge, and you know, we switched out the pickup and you know, different jack and whatnot. But that was the deal with it, was he won it. So he was really happy to see it, and he says, "I'm really glad it's, you know, in good hands, and you know, in the hands of someone who really enjoys this kind of stuff." And that was it.
Very cool.
Yeah. So again, Pat's Dogs. And just for the record, I asked him, I said, "Hey man, a couple of, you know, people have asked me, hey, what is the last line of that song?" Because the song goes, "Pat's Dogs, the cook is never tired. Pat's Dogs, the steam is always fired. 2 locations rocking all night." And then he goes, "Something, something, something. And I said, "What are you saying in that last line?" And he thought for a second. He looked at me like, "Honestly, I have no fucking idea. I don't remember."
That's better. That's actually better.
Okay, but no, it goes to the grave.
Yeah, that's better than actually knowing what he said.
I know. He just thought for a second. He's like, "Honestly, I have no fucking idea."
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that I thought you guys would get a kick out
Wow.
of that, and you know,
Good story.
there you go.
That's
Pat
really cool.
Dogs.
We
Oh,
need more
man.
stories like that. We need more stories like that.
Running theme on the Johnny Beane show.
Oh, that's
We gotta
great.
do a new
Thank you, all of Tom's crew. If you guys are watching, and Tom, thank you very much. Nice hanging with you guys. Thank you for all you did that night. Thank you so much. We really
See,
appreciate it.
now we need to do a new Pat's Dogs commercial.
Well, you want to do a copy of it?
No, we should do a new one. You know, we should revisit Pat's Dogs. I think Pat's Dogs should reopen if they're closed, and we should do a video. And we should that guitar needs to be in it, and it should be us doing the video and mentioning, you know, Tom Keifer.
Oh, I'd love to do a parody.
We should write a song.
It's out of business. It's still Pat's Cheesesteaks.
Okay, so we should write a song with Tom Keifer's name in it with his permission. And that guitar needs to be in it, and do a song for Pat's Cheesesteaks.
Pat's Cheesesteaks! Tom gave me this guitar! Pat's Cheesesteaks! It won't make me a rock star! One location, making lots of dough!
That's so funny.
Man.
We'll have that same young boy. We'll have that same young boy that Tom's jamming a hot dog in his mouth, and he'll be all grown up, like sitting on the counter, like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I should have asked him who the kid was. I forgot to ask him that. Yeah, and I wanted to get into. Hey man, did you really hate that guy in the band that like wouldn't eat a hot dog for the freaking commercial? If you guys remember the commercial, one of his bandmates was vegetarian, which like in 1992 or 3 or whatever was like ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, now it's ridiculous.
It was the 80s. Yeah. 83.
So I refused. It's like, dude, we're getting on MTV. We're getting paid for a commercial. Yeah, man, I refuse to eat a hot dog. My vegetarian morals refuse. So they had a blank bun, an empty bun that you could see in the commercial has no hot dog in it, and he's just stuffing the whole thing in his mouth real fast.
Well, what they should have done was put the hot dog halfway in, so that it's at least coming out one side.
Yeah.
And then just take a bite out of the bread.
Yeah, or put a little dildo in there, because that's probably what the meaty is used to eating, and just jam it right in there.
I don't think it's
a lot of things. I don't care if you make it with Play-Doh and have a little Play-Doh hot dog in there, whatever. But it was like so ridiculous. That guy got ditched out of the band very quickly.
Wow. Thanks, Upside Down.
Upside Down, long live Pat's Dogs. You really need to make a parody?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd love
Definitely. Definitely. I was gonna say though, I don't think a strict vegetarian would agree to having half a hot dog in a near his
But
face.
he's not eating it. What Dave's saying is, you just have it in there for show.
Yeah, just in half, and then eat the bun where the hot dog is not at.
Yeah, it's not touching your lips. It's just a little nub sticking out of the end, so it looks like you're eating a hot dog. You're doing a hot dog commercial, for fuck's sake.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you're doing a commercial for Irish Spring and you're in the shower lathering up with a rock.
Oh, that would hurt.
You just don't have a thing for soap, you know?
Oh man.
Like at Comic-Con, you won't use soap.
Oh. What
So
if
I'm not kosher.
what if you're cleaning your privates with a rock?
There you go. Oh, there's a rock.
God, that's gotta hurt.
Wow. Thumbs up, everybody, for that.
Thank you, Upside Down. Yeah, thumbs up for that, please. Yeah, so
Up.
yeah, I'll bet if he did lines of cocaine in the bun, he'd be huffing that hot dog down.
Wow.
Thank you, Soda.
Man. So when was that? That was Friday night? Saturday night?
That was let's see, what was it? Sunday. I was out till like 3 a.m. because Tom has a thing that, like, you know, he really, really strains his vocals, and, you know, after those surgeries. So after the show, he just doesn't want to talk for a while. So he basically, like, isolates himself in the bus. And, like, you know, the rest of his band is socializing and outside. Tom's in the bus doing what he calls a cool down period. He's, you know, wrapping his throat, and he's just, like, taking, like, an hour to, like, you know, acclimate his vocal cords and, you know, the temperature. And I don't know if he uses, you know, a ice or a you know, whatever technique he does, he has to do that. And then he'll come out and, like, just kind of quietly talk to fans and friends and whatever. But yeah, no, I'm like standing outside the tour bus, and everyone's walking up to the guitar, and they're like, "Oh my God, he signed it! Oh my, wait, what is that? Is that the hot dog commercial? Is that the hot dog commercial guitar?" And one of his roadies was going bonkers because he's like, "Wait, we're talking about the other day. I'm always busting his chops about that guitar. I can't believe it's here."
Did you take a picture with it?
The roadie?
Yeah, the roadie.
What about him?
Did the roadie take a picture with it?
No, but he basically saw, like, Tom backstage with it when he was signing it, and they were all talking about it. I wasn't there when he first saw it because it was like I got there late due to, like, the brush fires out here, and they're like, "Look, just give me it. I'll get Tom to sign it, and then after the show, he'll get together with you and talk about it and, you know, take photos with it."
Cool.
So I was like, okay.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
Yeah, and they were really nice. I really appreciate Tom's whole team, and you know, that was just really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Coombs says that guitar should be displayed every show. Maybe I'll put it up. I'll put it up behind me where CC's guitar is today. I rotate those a lot, but maybe I'll just put that one up there. AI Gaming says, "Did I put a sealant over the autograph?" The way the autograph is, it's on a guitar that basically has no clear coat really on it. So, like, you know, it's a flat paint because it was I don't know if it was just worn down or just a shitty paint job originally. It looks like it's just a respray, which it could be, but then again, it's hard to tell because right under it is all the primer. I don't see any other color.
Well, they might have put primer on it before respraying it. It might be. I bet you that guitar is black.
That's what I thought.
But it was a black guitar
too. I see bare wood. I see primer, and I see. You know what? They might have just sanded it down.
I bet you. Yeah, right. I bet you it is because that body actually looks thinner than a normal Iceman anyway. So it probably got sanded to bare wood, and oops, some of the wood came off too. You know, some of that, and then
half the guitar.
Huh?
Half the guitar.
No, but look at it. If you look at it, it's supposed to be thicker than that. It should be thicker than that.
No, it feels like a regular Iceman.
Mm,
It feels like a regular Iceman thickness.
okay.
I think they might have just sanded it though, because it goes either that or it was red and he just sanded the clear coat off. That's possible. Because I'm looking, it's bare wood, primer, and then red.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Yeah. Jasco Plumbing Supply asks if I have any advice for coating a signature. If it's on top of clear paint, there's really no way to coat it because the clear will flake off, and the signature will eventually it'll get lighter and lighter until it's eventually gone. It just they disappear. There's nothing you can do about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've got that the signed Telecaster, the Andy Summers signature, and I always thought about getting it clear coated or whatever.
It's
But
not
yeah,
a bad idea, man.
yeah. Well, it is fading. The signature is fading because it's been what 9, 10, 11 years since he signed it. But I also had him sign it on the back of the headstock, so it's signed on the body and on the headstock.
That's fun.
So,
let's see. Robbie Johnson, what's up, man? Rockstar wants to know how I got CC DeVille's Nagel Gunslinger. I got a couple of CC's guitars. That one originally came from CC to his manager. The manager sold it to a friend who sold it to one of my friends who didn't bond with it and eventually sold it to me. So it was passed around Patty for a little while, but I finally wound up with it.
mm-hmm.
Let's see. Looking at the chat. Mad Dog says he gave CC a couple 8-balls. That man's clean as a whistle right now.
That's good.
Yeah, I think most of the artists nowadays are clean. You know, you got like Mark Kendall's a huge advocate for being a anti-alcoholic, and a lot of guys I think cleaned up after the 80s and through the 90s. When it all came crashing down, I think everyone kind of grew up.
Mm-hmm.
As far as
well, plus a lot of those bands, a lot of those guys, they're older now, and you can't party like that, or even eat. That you can't eat like that anymore.
Yeah,
you
get tired at night now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 9 o'clock at night. It's bedtime nowadays.
Yeah. Back in my day, I remember I used to play Paradise City for an audience. But now, and that was when I liked Jack Daniels. Now I know Jack's nephew. Only dead by 9 o'clock, though. No, I think what happened is the money ran out and they had to get clean.
Oh.
But it's like, I talked to Mark Kendall and, basically, again, everyone in the 80s was drunk or stoned or whatever. But he plays, just speaking for Mark, he plays so much better now that he's clean,
Mm-hmm.
And when I say clean, Mark was, an alcoholic, and he basically went through the 12-step program and, total advocate of sober living. And he helps other people now, not just rock stars, but like regular fans. He reaches out to them. He's like, hey, if you want help getting sober, let's talk because I'll help you. And he does that like out of the kindness of his heart. But as a guitarist, he's so sharp now. The guy's playing better than ever.
We'll go through the 12 steps in 5 simple steps.
First step, you run out of money. Second step, you try to suck dick for money. Third step, you realize you're not going to make money sucking dick. Fourth step, all right, I guess I'm going to get clean.
Wow. Well, even out here, I mean, John, you know this, out here in California, you can't smoke anywhere. just cigarettes. You know, there's certain towns you can't smoke downtown, just
Dude,
at all.
California, we have so many strict laws. And again, I'm from New York. I'm from Long Island, where Dave's from. So I'm like used to like anything goes. California, there's a big battle right now trying to like get the bars to stay open till 4 a.m. because they're only allowed to stay open till 2. And in New York, I used to bartend, and it was like at 4 a.m. It's like we're like, you know, popping champagne bottles on the ceiling. You know?
Mhm.
California, we have restrictions for everything.
There are a lot of places in North Carolina where you can't smoke outside either.
Even
Like,
outside.
Yeah, even outside they don't let you in the town area. They don't let you smoke there.
We have that. There are some places that have like designated smoking areas that you can go to, but it's like the far corner of the parking lot. It has a sign, designated smoking area, and it's basically like one parking lot space that you see like 6 people. I gotta have my smoke. But the newest thing is vaping, and everyone's like doing the Juul and the vape and all that stuff, and they're doing that like all over the place for now. But now they're like banning that too.
They're considering that.
Pot's legal out here.
Pot's legal. You can do pot anywhere now. It's fine. Vaping is more dangerous than regular smoking. They're saying
it is.
You know, because nobody knows what's in that. But yeah, as far as pot though, I mean, in Santa Cruz anyway, it's always been 420, always here, you know. But
people love pot everywhere, but like over here now, it's like I see like people walking down the street with a joint. I'm like, wow, pot's legal, but you're not supposed to do it like out in the open like that. But you know, no one really stops anyone.
Right. Yeah. Although you're not supposed to drive and do that.
Yeah, don't.
That's the one thing.
Don't be doing bond rips and like, you know. Like a Cheech and Chong movie. The car door opens and bellows of smoke just come out.
Yeah.
Can I tell you guys about Snoop Dogg? When I met Snoop Dogg?
I don't know.
Okay, so this is back in the early 2000s. I was
Right back.
featured extra work on Saturday Night Live. So meaning I was that guy that you saw like in the skit that had no line, but you saw me like with Jennifer Aniston, with Robert De Niro, with, you know, in the action, but not speaking. So one day Snoop Dogg is the guest, and he's basically, you know, you go on SNL to promote something. What he was promoting was he was paying his penance for some drug charges, and he was supposed to be giving these anti-drug messages to like soccer teams or something. And that's what he was promoting. You know, don't do drugs, kids, don't do drugs. So I go down, I hear, you know, hey, Snoop's in his dressing room, you should go meet him. So I'm like, okay. So it's one floor down. I start walking with someone else on the show down the stairs, and what's that smell? Do you smell something? Yeah. And as we get into the hallway, you just see it's like London fog just rolling in, right? The whole hallway is foggy. And I'm like, what the fuck? And all of a sudden, at the end of the hall, this door opens up, and it was like almost like a wildfire was on the other side of the door, because just so much smoke came out of that room and laughter in there. And Snoop was so fucking high with his buddies in there, just plumes of smoke coming out, you know? And I'm just like, this is him paying his penance, huh? It was like smoke everywhere. The guy had it was like he lit a bushel of pot.
Oh man. That's crazy.
Yeah. that man was working the system right around it. He was taking the straight and narrow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if you're Snoop Dogg, you can do pretty much anything you want anywhere you want, and nobody's really gonna do anything,
Yeah. I mean, he's known for that stuff, and it's funny, and he's funny. But it was just so funny because it's like, yeah, no, listen, man, Snoop is clean now, so don't bring up his jail sentence thing, and don't bring up, his restitution charge, because he's got to go to schools and talk to kids about how bad drugs are. I'm like, oh, okay, I won't mention it. And I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, it was great. That's one funny cat, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let me bring up someone else that we've talked about before. I think everyone having a podcast has a segment on this now, it seems, because it's just the gift that keeps giving. I just want to very briefly touch on Vinnie Vincent's latest bullshit that's happened since last week.
Since last week?
Yeah, since last week. So
I was actually researching some of that since last week.
So I'm sure you know what I'm about to say. So Vinnie Vincent, for those of you that weren't here on last week's show, we were talking about Vinnie Vincent's birthday bash, which was the first time he actually showed up for a paid event. And even though he only played guitar for 10 minutes and collected $300 a ticket to like 30 people, he actually showed up. So people were like, wow, Vinny showed up for something. It's like, out of 6 appearances, Vinny finally made one. Maybe he's turning a new leaf. Well, right after that, since we did our last week's show, Vinny put up on social media, I don't know if it was, I think it was his Facebook page, hey, all those guys that were naysayers, Vinny's back. I told you I'd show up and do a show, and I'll bet you wish you came to that. Well, you know what? Since my birthday bash went over so well and everyone was so happy, I've decided to do another show. And I'm thinking about doing a show with maybe singer Jeff Scott Soto and maybe Robert Patton and Patton or Pattinson. Who is his old vocalist?
I have no idea.
Yeah, and maybe I'll get together with Robert Patton also and do a show with him. Well, right after he posted that, Jeff Scott Soto got word of it and posted on social media, I know nothing about this. I have nothing to do with Vinnie Vincent. Don't listen to him. So
that's funny.
And Jeff Scott Soto, for those that don't know, he sung on the first 2 Yngwie Malmsteen albums, and he has his own band now, and he's been in a couple of bands. But immediately, he just basically sunk Vinny's ship with a torpedo of truth.
He sang with the Eat 'Em and Smile band this past January.
Did he?
Yeah, they got together and did I think they did a few songs at the Lucky Strike. Maybe is that
no
Lucky
they did.
Strike was where that
NAMM.
band with Dave, but got shut down from the fire marshal.
Yeah, but I thought that was at the Lucky Strike. Wasn't that during NAMM?
No.
Lucky Strike is here in Hollywood. It's by me.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. There was
they played it. That's right. You're right. They played it NAMM. Yeah. Okay.
There was
a show.
songs. Yeah, there was a show at NAMM where they did some stuff. But that's kind of like what was the Bart Walsh? Is it?
Yeah.
Atomic Punks. He made an announcement that he was doing a Van Halen cover band with Billy Sheehan. And then Billy Sheehan comes out and says he has nothing to do with it. So the same kind of deal, same kind of thing,
By the way, the singer I'm thinking of, thank you, Sean Mahoney. The singer I'm thinking of is Robert Fleischman. That was from Vinny's first album. Great singer. Now, Fleischman, I don't think has commented yet of, would he ever get together with Vinny? But Jeff Scott Soto, he jumped right on it. I mean, like right on it. It's like, hey, I'm gonna get together with Jeff Scott Soto and we're gonna jam, we're gonna have a concert. It's like, no. I know nothing about this. Don't listen to him. I have nothing to do with Vinnie Vincent.
This is Gene Simmons of Kiss.
Yes, Gene.
Vinnie Vincent was never in the band.
Oh, he wasn't in Kiss?
No, he wasn't. I invented that guitar player. His
See,
name
and there
was
again, there's another Vinnie Vincent lie.
his name was Gene Simmons.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, by the way, Cobra Cobretti, great name, says that was Stallone's movie, Cobra. And Vinny claimed he made the food from the birthday party. I don't see Vinny basically sitting there cutting up fruit salad, you know. I'm gonna get these melons going. Then I'm gonna blanch the mangoes. What type of grapes do I need? I got to get this party right, and then I got to work on the potato salad. We need a bin of old school potato salad. Should I put scallions or celery in? Oh gosh. I'm sorry. Vinny went to fucking Albertsons and whatever supermarket is near you, and basically said, yeah, let me have 3 pounds of potato salad, 2 pounds of mac salad, 3 pounds of fruit salad, which is my new nickname, and
Oh God.
yeah, some cold cuts. Give me a bologna. Insert joke here, and then I'll have to get some food for everyone.
I don't think Albertsons exists anymore.
There's Albertsons out here down in SoCal.
Okay, they closed them all up here, I think.
Yeah. Well, Vinny went to some supermarket, got a couple of salads, and says, yeah, I made all the food myself too. Yes, Vinny, I saw you slicing the 6-foot hero roll. Yes, I'm sure you were sitting there laying out the cheese, not practicing guitar. I'm sure you were there peeling the craft singles.
I think Vinnie Vincent is getting a little too much airtime. He's getting more than he deserves.
But you know what? It's just the idea that he just keeps putting out lies and again scamming everyone. So yeah, we jump on it. It's a topic that keeps on giving.
Mm-hmm. James Gum asks if he says you said that you put a Gibson Burstbucker in one of your striped Kramers. Did you change the pickup frame or did you route the cavity to fit it? It's in my Kramer ad guitar, and the cavities are very deep, so they do fit the Burstbucker perfectly with the long legs on it.
Here's to deep cavities.
Deep cavity. Yes, it has a very, very deep cavity. So,
like a dentist, I love a deep cavity.
I didn't have to change the legs or bend them at all.
Oh.
Gee. So for the warning, you guys give a thumbs up, so because you didn't get scammed from Vinny for $500. Renus Pinkle wants to know, how deep is your cavity, Dave?
I can read.
Wow. Shall I open this?
Sure.
I'm gonna open it. I got this in the mail.
Who's it from?
A couple days ago. I don't remember.
Renus Pinkle also has 2 strikes. The next strike, he gets 300 seconds in jail.
Uh-oh. Renus, what are you doing, man? You ninja. We make holes in teeth. Cavity creeps.
Oh, this is from Mike.
Mike Hawk?
Is it Mike? Is it Ness? Nessie? Neesse?
Messy Mike.
Thank you very much, Mike. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's a pack of the Herco guitar picks.
Oh, how nice. And Renus, yes, I do love you.
Thank you, Mike.
I'm kidding with you.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you.
I wouldn't put you in jail.
Uh-huh.
No, I really wouldn't. I'm through with all that stuff. Everyone has the right to say what they want to say.
This show is about having fun. Let's all have fun together.
So nice. What gauge are the Herco picks?
They are the Flex 75s.
Oh, cool.
It's
Yeah,
here,
that's a comfortable gauge.
let me do this. Yeah, they're the ones I like.
There you go.
Right there. Thank you, Mike. Thank you so much. I think you're here. I think I saw you.
Yeah, he's here. Mike Niece.
Ness.
There
There
he
you
is.
are. There you are. Thank you so much, man.
Hey,
Thank you. Everybody, thumbs up. Thumbs up for Mike.
thumbs up for you, Mike. All right, man. Jim Nicholas says 45 thumbs up and 2 dog boner pink weasels. Yeah, it's as pink as my Swiss pick.
Oh,
That's a cool color. That's a
I
cool
love
color.
that
I need to get a couple of those.
This one's the pointy one.
Yeah, I'd like a couple of round ones. I didn't get any of the pink ones.
I like the green ones that you got, the neon green ones. Those are like my favorites because they're rounded. I'm trying to get used to the pointy ones because he said try them out. I still like the round ones better, but they don't make them in this color.
Well, I didn't buy any round ones. Jasco Plumbing sent me a bunch of round ones, but I bought 3 or 4 packs of green pointed ones, and I like the rounded ones better.
I like the roundeds better too.
Are mine round?
Yes.
Let's say.
Yeah, those are round.
Mm-hmm. These are compare here. Let's touch tips.
Oh, it's gross.
Just the tip. Wait.
Other way.
Yeah. All right. Hold on. My pink head is about to go dry docking. Hold on. Here it goes.
Why is yours so much bigger, Johnny? I mean, John.
And
Bigger than
pink.
Johnny's.
And mine's
Because
pink.
he's
Yeah,
closer
mine's
to the
got-
camera.
mine's got
Yeah,
holes
I
in it.
know. I know.
There you go. Oh, I love you. Touch the tips. Just the tip.
Now let's do the other side.
Now, hold on. Yeah, wait. Hold on a sec. Yeah, bend over there, Greenie. Hold on. There you go.
Oh, get her.
We were in prison.
You guys.
Oh, wait, let's do
This
the.
is what the holes are for.
There's the holes right there. Let's turn it this way. It goes right.
Yeah, that's what the holes are for.
Oh,
There you go.
oh, this is terrible.
And he's moaning, and Johnny's moaning. Can you?
Great.
You
Now I
guys,
got to wipe off my pick.
you guys suck.
You said pick. Oh,
Swiss dicks. Yeah, so we're dry docking Swiss picks on the show. But anyway, no, seriously, I like the round ones myself. I know some people probably like jazz players like the pointy ones, you know?
yeah.
But I like the round ones also. But I love this color. I want them to do a round edition in this color, the Mancuda edition. That's what I want. I'll order like 1 billion of them.
Mhm.
I love these things. But yeah, Dave, I agree. I like the round ones too.
I love my custom Wolfgang pick holder from Steve Carmichael.
Steve Carmichael.
Yeah, that is pretty cool, especially
Yeah.
since it's
That's
flame
very
maple.
cool.
Steve Carmichael. Look at this.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's amazing. Steve, thank you so much. Thank you.
That's cool. See, I'm a slob. I have picks all over my couch.
So should we show another guitar?
Yeah, I think. Now, Dave, do you want to show yours first? Do you want me to show mine?
Yeah, I'll show mine first, and I'll give a little musical hint.
Give a story.
Do I have a story? Here's the story of a lovely guitar. It was yellow with black tiger stripes.
I know what that is.
Anyway, here it is. Here is the. I know I showed it Saturday night, but I wanted to do an official showing on the Johnny Beane Show, where we talk about guitars, gear, and 80s metal. Because this is a metal guitar. If you ask me, this defines metal.
Oh God, yeah.
And it's amazing. This is the body and neck is from Chris Locke. This was painted by my buddy Nick Amendolara. Painted in relic. I don't know if you can see the relicing.
Put a little closer. Put a little closer, Dave.
A little closer, and then back it up.
Back it up, baby.
I don't know if you can see any of this, but
Put it closer though. Put it closer.
I can't.
So I can see the checking.
I can't. How about that? Is that any closer? Is that better?
Yeah, show under the Floyd.
How about here?
Right there. Yeah. Stop right there. Now, for those of you guys looking, all that checking, all those chips, those are basically mimicking George Lynch's #1 Yellow Tiger. And I know this because I've seen the thing. I had high-res photos of the thing, and I sent them to Dave to give to the guy doing his guitar. So this guitar is as close as you can get to George's original Yellow Tiger in wear and relicing.
Now, I want to tell you how cool it is to have this guitar right now. That I got a private message from Gerard Ganadin, and Gerard Ganadin was George Lynch's guitar tech for many years.
Yep,
and he
still does for George sometimes.
He's still friends with George, and he still texts for George, and he was so amazed at what the guitar looked like. And I'm not going to read everything that we spoke about, but I'll give you guys the gist. He said in his first paragraph, he's like, very cool guitar. If you really want, if it's really a replica of the guitar, you need to have an oversized Jackson pickup ring on it with the holes showing from the extra holes. And on the backside, you need the tape showing the pickup gauge, the string gauges, and what pickup is in the guitar. And I had said that the only reason I didn't do any of that is because it's more than just a tribute. It is a replica, but that's I want it to be neat, and it has to work for me. So I didn't want any extra holes in the guitar, and I have all the time in the world to put the tape with the string gauges on it. But then he said that is probably the closest I've ever seen anyone make a guitar like George's. He says I'm probably the only guy that has had that guitar in my hands more than George, almost as much as George has.
Right.
And he said it was an incredible replica, and I said, I would like to maybe someday have George see it or take a look at it or maybe even play it. And he says, let me call George and see if he's interested in doing that. He said, it's that cool that I'll call George for you. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, Jerry's good people, man. I'm friends with him. He's out here by me. And Jerry also, it should be mentioned, is in a Dokken cover band, and he was taught by George.
Uh-huh.
He was George's tech from years ago and still hangs out with George all the time.
Mm-hmm. Renus wants to know if this has a Screamin' Seaman in it. It's very funny. No, it's a Pariah Pasadena Black, and the reason I chose that is because the body is a maple body, and maple bodies are kind of brittle and bright sounding. And the Pasadena Black is a very warm sounding pickup, so it calms the wood down a little bit. So it actually makes it sound really good. It's very
excites my wood.
Yeah, well, it really makes the guitar sound nice. It's very pleasant to the ears. It's warm. You hear the wood. You don't hear the brightness of the metal. The Floyd. You don't hear any of that. It's just the wood of the guitar. And I mean, I've had it plugged into my rig. Nice.
Sorry, man.
I've had it in my rig, and it sounds amazing, super loud. But it also sounds really good in this Yamaha THR-10X amp, even though it's a little solid state amp.
Whoa.
It still really sounds great.
How much does that weigh?
This is probably about 9.5 pounds.
That's light.
It's light for maple, but it's heavy guitar. It's heavy for me because most of my guitars are in the 7-pound range.
George's
it's heavier than my Les Paul.
George's weighs about 14 pounds.
Oh wow.
And he showed me, he pulled his shirt down. He's like, look at my fucking shoulder. one of his shoulders sits a half-inch lower than the other side, and he's like, that's from playing that guitar for like 30-something years.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that's from.
Mike Nee says, I bet George will love it. What if he wants to purchase it from you? He can't have this one, but I will make one for him. I would love to make George a replica of his guitar. And if that ever happened, I would ask him if I could take his and use his personally as a template for the replica.
You never know.
You never know is right.
You never know. Yeah, no, George is good, people. And Jerry, I love Jerry. Jerry, for years is the authority on George's stuff. I mean, he has handled it. He's played it. He's handed it from stage to George to case. Maintenance it. Jerry knows George's guitar. So for Jerry to give you that compliment, that's a really big deal, man. And look,
I thought it was too. And at first I didn't know who he was. I really thought it was just some guy, telling me that he knows something about the guitar. I really didn't know who he was. And then
everything about the guitar.
Even after he said I worked for George, I was like, yeah, everyone could say that. And then I asked my buddy Nick, who knows much more about this stuff than I do. I consider myself kind of an authority on Van Halen, maybe, but not really Dokken or George Lynch. I've always loved George and I've always loved Dokken, but I wouldn't consider myself an authority on his guitars or him. So I didn't know. And when I said to my buddy Nick, I'm like, yeah, this guy, Gerard, blah, 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 blah. He's like, oh, yeah, you mean George's Tech? And I was like, oh, okay. That must be for real. And then I friended him and he friended me right back. And he was very kind to me, in private messages. He was just really a regular guy and a nice guy.
Let's see. Jim Nicholas wants to know what the nut width on that one is.
Well, it's an R5 nut. I think it's 1 3/4. I think it's 1 3/4. It's really wide. And it's weird to play because I'm not used to such a wide fretboard, but it's a lot of fun. It's really a lot of fun to play. I try to get the head.
And what made you choose that size nut?
Because that's what George's is.
Okay.
Yeah, all of George's necks are R5 nuts.
Wow. Hey, Brett.
I think some of the earlier ones were thinner because I have the sister to his yellow tiger. I have the green tiger.
You have the green tiger. I saw one picture of that guitar, and that may be another one to build. That may be another one.
George made, I know someone that could get you some really good photos of it. George made that with the yellow tiger, and he just wound up playing the yellow tiger more. He liked the tone of it better. But both of them were in the Break in the Chains video. And when he auditioned for Ozzy Osbourne, he did it with the green tiger. And that's why Sharon Osbourne said, look at him. He has short hair like the Kanjagugu guy. He looks ridiculous. You're trying to replace Randy with him. And look at his guitar. It's a big piece of snot. And that's why he named the guitar Booger, because Sharon Osbourne called his guitar a giant piece of snot.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Superfuzz asked if ESP has ever done a replica of the guitar. No, they haven't. And I'll tell you another quick story.
Actually, they have.
They have done a full replica of this?
Well, here's the thing. They did a replica of it, not a relic replica. They did a replica of the Yellow Tiger and, again, various types of necks. Because the thing about the Yellow Tiger, it started with a Quebecy neck.
Yes.
Which
is this headstock.
Which is like that headstock.
Yes.
And in the 80s, it basically always had this headstock through most of its life.
A Strat head. It had a Strat headstock.
Yeah, and I'm going to show you a photo of it. It had this neck on it through most of the 80s.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, and my buddy owns that neck.
That's cool.
Because I've been trying to get it off him for years, and someday I'll get it. But but that neck, you see, has the regular Strat headstock that was through the 80s on a maple neck. And then eventually he came full circle and put back on the style that Dave has now, the Quebecy style neck with the hooks, which looks really badass.
It really does. When I first saw the guitar, when I saw George's guitar with this back on, I was like, I'm not too crazy about it. I'm just not too crazy about it because I wouldn't consider myself a purist. I like all kinds of guitars, but I really am. I like Fender looking headstocks. I just think that's just the coolest headstock in the world. And then the more I looked at it, I'm like, it's growing on me. It really looks good. It's cool. It's kind of cool. It's its own thing. It's the George Lynch thing. So why not have it on there? It's if George likes it, why would I say no? But here's the other story. So I when I first got this guitar last week, I put photos.
Before you give that, can I just finish this 1 second?
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Replica wise, here's an ESP ad, and this is ESP Japan sometimes has a little more access to replicas than we do in the States, especially because it's a Japanese company. But you can see in this ad, they made replicas of the original Kamikaze, the Yellow Tiger, the Skull and Swords, and the Purple Tiger with its original style maple headstock. But if you look at this, it was a replica of the Tiger with the maple neck and the Strat headstock, or similar to a Strat headstock, because Fender won't allow you to do a real Strat headstock. But it's not relict. It's just.
But they still make that. They still make that guitar.
They do.
It's not a replica, though.
That's supposed to be a replica of George's Yellow Tiger. The difference with yours is you actually have, just like your Van Halen guitars, accurate replica of relicking, chips where there should be chips, an X-Acto knife used to, make the lines of the checking from the paint cracking. You have yours relict like George's is actually worn.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
So they never made that.
So I threw this on Facebook and a couple of different groups on Facebook, and Mancuda, you actually chimed in when I put it on the ESP group. I was told by someone that it may not be the right thing. They may not want a replica of their guitar in. But then Mancuda said, well, George is a replica of an ESP because it's not an ESP. It's just it says ESP on it.
It's true.
But it's not an ESP, which that's the reason why I put it on there, because I know George's wasn't a real ESP. And
George's first guitars were Charvel's.
Yeah, so after all that, the person who said it might not be cool private messaged me and said that the president of ESP said it was okay for me to put that guitar in there.
And that's Matt, who's very good friends with George.
Yes, he said it was very cool for me to have it on that site, and he thanked me for it.
Yeah, of course, because
I was floored that the president of ESP Guitars said my little guitar was cool to have on that site. I thought that was awesome.
Matt at ESP and all the guys at ESP, because I know a few of them, they're all very, very grateful to George for bringing up their company. And George's signature series sells so well for them. So when you come on with an ESP logo on your guitar, you're doing what George is doing. You're promoting ESP. And they're going to sell more replicas of George's guitar because you have your relic on there.
Absolutely. And I'm not, the thing is, I'm not portraying this as one of George's guitars. All I'm doing is this is my appreciation to George, his music, and his guitars. I'm not reselling this. This is my personal private property. It is my tribute to Dokken, George Lynch, Lynch Mob, and ESP. It's just a tribute. It just happens to be a really accurate replica tribute. And the reason why I went with a parchment white pickup is because as of right now, George's guitar has a parchment white pickup in it.
Yeah, and again, you have to realize something about that guitar. That guitar has had so many different necks on it. That main neck with the Strat headstock was for the biggest period of time. But there was a time before that it had the Quebecy neck. It had at one point a Kramer neck on it. It had at one point another neck on it and another neck on it.
I've got a picture. I've got a picture of this guitar with the Kramer neck on it. And not only is it a cool Kramer neck, it's a non-tilt headstock Kramer neck that only Eddie Van Halen was getting. No one else. You couldn't buy a non-tilted Kramer headstock. And George is the only other guy other than Eddie who actually got them from Kramer. So let me find that picture.
Hey, Brett McCord. Thank you, brother.
You guys talk amongst yourselves.
And Scott Nickerson just ordered some glow round tip Swiss picks. I use those a lot too. Those are great. You know, you guys that are buying Swiss picks, which again I recommend, tell them you saw it on the Johnny Beane show. Let them know that we appreciate our sponsorship, and let them know that you appreciate their picks and their support of the show. Because you guys like the show, so let them know that they're on the right track supporting us.
Yeah, these are cool. The glow in the dark ones.
And I know Rob loves them.
Mm-hmm.
Rob was really happy getting Swiss picks. No, Vistalite 1972 wants to know, is the Green Tiger 14 pounds also? It's not as heavy as the Yellow Tiger.
Do you have that in LA, or is that in New York?
I have it in LA. I'm going to bring it onto the show one day.
Yeah, I would really like to see that.
I'm going to. I'm going to. All my guitars will eventually wind up on the show. I'm just trickling them out, but that'll definitely be brought on the show.
All right, here's the picture of this guitar with the Kramer neck on it.
There you go. That's it. That's the same Tiger, just with a different neck on it.
Yep, that's this guitar, and that looks so cool with that neck on it.
Oh yeah. Well, dude, that is one of the 80s most recognizable guitars.
Yeah,
just
absolutely. And what makes this guitar so cool and so iconic, one of the things is the fact that it has had almost as many necks as the Frankenstein, Van Halen Frankenstein has. It is, I would say this guitar is almost as iconic as that guitar as far as 80s rock guitar.
Mm-hmm. So what made you how come you didn't put the Kramer neck on it?
Because I wanted it to be as it is today.
Current. And that headstock's badass.
Yeah. Yeah. I just when I do a replica of a guitar, I generally like to do the guitar as it looks today. And then if I want to have versions of that guitar, that's all secondary. But I like to have the version of what it looks like right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, hopefully this neck and the pickup will stay in the original for a little while, and I won't have to worry about making another one.
And Jim Nicholas wants to know, and this is really more of a question for me about George's original Tiger. Did that guitar have a standard Fender trem, a V-trem, on it before the Floyd? I'm not sure. I don't believe so.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
It did?
It absolutely did, because in the Breaking the Chains video, it had a brass V-trem on it. And no locking nut. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and on the yellow one. And it had it through up to 87. About 87 is when George put the Kramer neck on it. But there are some live videos of Dokken on YouTube, and I saw one the other day. I was watching a whole concert where he used this as his main guitar for the most of the show, and it still had a V-trem on it with no locking nut. And I think it was the Under Lock and Key tour.
I don't think that you might be mixing that one up, because I'm looking at an old photo of it. It has a Black Floyd on it.
Yeah, but there was one before that.
It could have had a V-trem on it before that.
Yeah, before the Black Floyd, because it always had a Black Floyd. It never had a chrome Floyd on it. It never had a gold. It was always black. Now, whether it was the same one through all the years, I have no idea.
But in the Breaking the Chains video, did it have a V-trem?
Yes, it had a V-trem. It had a V-trem, because I realized, I noticed when I first used to watch that, I was like, wow, that guitar doesn't have a Floyd Rose on it. And that's why I just remember saying to myself, wow, that doesn't have a Floyd on it. Because I thought at that point, I thought all Super Strats had Floyds. I didn't realize that they had like V trems and Fender trems and stuff. But yeah, it had a V trem on it.
Okay.
And the arm was long and straight. It wasn't curved. It didn't look like a Floyd Rose arm.
And that's a V-trem arm is the long and straight one.
Yeah.
Booger has a Floyd.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know what year he put that on it, because let's see, I have some vintage photos of Booger. I don't have them handy. Let me see, maybe I do, but I know at the time. Wait, let me see. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
So did he have to tune the guitar a lot with the regular trem on it?
You know, I honestly don't think so, because when I watched the show, it didn't sound like he was ever out of tune. But the thing is, he didn't really use the tremolo arm that much. He never did. He never did like major dive bombing where the guitar would be going out of tune.
Mm-hmm.
At least not to my ears. I mean, I think I have pretty good ears. I can tell when a guitar is in tune and out of tune. But yeah, it always seemed to be. And he didn't change after every song. Like he would play that guitar for 3 or 4 songs and then change to another one. So at least for the 3 or 4 songs he had it stayed pretty good in tune.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Jasco had a question. Have you ever made any of Vi's guitars before the Flame one you're about to do? Jasco, I made a tribute to the Green Meanie. It was just it was a made in Mexico Charvel Pro mod that was in green. And, you know, I didn't do any of the stickers or anything. It looked new. It had the right color pickups in it. You know, I made it hum single hum. I think it was 2 humbuckers originally. But I put a black pick guard on it with hum single hum and a black Floyd, and the right colored pickups. They were all PAF Pros, and then a gem single coil. I think the neck was either red or red and black. The bridge was pink, and the center middle pickup was white. I think that's how he had it at some point. And yeah, and it was a cool guitar, but you know, it wasn't. You know, someone wanted it more than I did, and I sold it to somebody because it was like, you know, I could make another one really quick if I really wanted to. But I think eventually I'm going to do a proper Green Meanie with all the stickers on it and the painted headstock, and you know, it'll really beat up and all that stuff.
That would be cool.
I may do one of those, but right now I'm really looking forward to building the Flame guitar on Friday and having it ready for a Friday night show. It should be fun. It should be great. I actually saw the neck today. I went to my buddy Nick's house. Like I said, he does the painting and the relicking. So he had the neck and body. The body is almost all buffed out and shiny and perfect. The neck is absolutely perfect. With the proper performance black headstock, the neck feels great. I cannot wait to build it, and I think you guys are all going to lose your mind because there are different versions of that Flame guitar. Vi had 3 or 4 of them. One of them was the actual gem Despagni Joe Gem guitar that was given to him. That was the one that was on the Going Crazy video. And then Performance made a few different ones for him, all basically the same colors, but not exactly the same color as the original one, which is, I believe, hanging in a maybe it's in the Rock Walk in Hollywood, or it's somewhere. It's somewhere, I believe, in Hollywood.
There was one at the Guitar Center.
Maybe that's it. Yeah, it has a red headstock, red painted headstock with Performance on it. That's the original one because it started off its life with a black painted hockey stick headstock that said Performance, and then the headstock was repainted red with a gold Performance sticker on it. And when it was in the Going Crazy video, it had the red headstock. But then Performance made a few replicas of that guitar for Steve. Because the actual original one wouldn't stay in tune very well because of the neck pocket. So, but the replicas were painted slightly different, and I'll tell you about that stuff when I actually have my guitar on Friday to show you all, because it's very hard to just talk about it without having one of the guitars in your hands.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be a good show. Plus, we're going to have a great guest on as well, which we will maybe mention at the end of the show tonight.
Jay Hannon?
No, I said great guest.
Oh, I miss Jay.
Well, Jay's not a guest. He's he's an actual he's a guy. He's one of the guys. Guy.
Okay, so I found a photo of Booger, a vintage photo, like beginning of Docking days. What type of bridge is this? Because this is what it started with.
Let me see the arm. Can you raise it up? That is a V-trem. That's an early V-trem. Maybe it wasn't called a V-trem back then, but that is a Charvel tremolo. That's the tremolo. That's the tremolo that came on early Charvel guitars before they started putting Floyds on their guitar.
No, it's like a chrome one.
Yeah, but it's chrome. Absolutely, it's a chrome version of it.
Is that the keyhole one?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it is. All right, because I usually see these in brass.
Yeah, they're usually in brass, but I believe that is brass. I think it's chromed brass. I think it's chrome over brass.
Yeah, so that's his Booger. This was made, by the way, this guitar and the Yellow Tiger were painted together at the same time. And basically, just the typical razor tape a design and spray it and peel the tape.
Yeah. Oh, that was the other thing about this.
Look at his hair.
Yeah. Yeah, he looked like a Beatle. Actually, he looked more like Jeff Beck there.
Yeah, real early. Early.
So Jerry, the guy I was just talking about, told me also that the stripes, the black stripes on the original one, were painted after the fact. It was a yellow guitar, and the stripes were painted on after, so you can actually feel the stripes on the top of the paint.
You can feel the stripes on the Booger and on the Yellow Tiger.
Yeah.
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 That I can attest to. You can see because the paint's just a little thicker. Like if I ran my fingers across Booger, you should come out to LA and run.
I should do it just to feel it
across my bumps.
Yeah, I'll come out to LA just to feel that guitar and then go home on the next plane.
No, sleep over the night. Let me fuck you.
I'm sure you'll be fucking me anyway. Just by going there.
It cost you $700 for a flight.
Exactly. Us Jews, we have different, whatever. Anyway, Jim Nicholas says Dave Nesdal.
You can feel the raised paint on the stripes. Yeah,
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. So Jim Nicholas says, did Joe Despagni from the original Gem Guitars make Vi's lightning bolt and cloud shaped guitars? Yes, he did. Yes. And I was there. I was there when they were made. I worked for Joe back then.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I worked for Joe Despagni back then. I was there when the green Swiss cheese guitar was made. I was there for
Joe Despagni, rest in peace.
Yeah, I was there for the flame guitar. I was there for all of Steve's guitars that Joe made, and it was an amazing time to work in a guitar shop. An amazing time.
And Fruitcake Tony wants to know, when am I going to show the Lynch Skulls guitar? It'll come on the show, I promise. I'll bring it on soon. I'm about due for another Lynch guitar at some point to make an appearance in the next few weeks. I promise.
So, Blank Palette 2 says, was Gem Guitars near Belmont? No, it was on Grand Avenue, just off of Old Country Road in Westbury. It was at the very eastern edge of Westbury, Long Island, on Grand Avenue.
Blank Palette wants to know, do I have a cheese guitar, a Vi one, or a Bumblebee one? Steve Vai's Swiss cheese guitar is in a Hard Rock Cafe right now.
Actually, it's not. It's not at all.
Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. I'm thinking the I guitar.
Yeah.
The green cheese guitar was stolen.
Yes, it was.
That guitar was stolen.
It was stolen, and there's only 2 of those guitars in existence that Joe Despagni made. Joe made the original one for Steve, and then some years later, I think it was 1990 or so, He made a replica of that guitar for a guy named Spike in a band called, oh man, what's the name of the band? Hot Shot. The name of the band was called Hot Shot, and they were a Long Island band. And
I remember
Spike is and still is. I can't remember his last name. One of the greatest guitars in Long Island. He was the epitome of rock guitar, slung really low to the knees, but I mean, he played it like a virtuoso, slung to his knees. Like he was tall and thin and all about rock and roll. And Joe made him that guitar, made him almost an exact replica. The only thing he didn't do on the replica, out of respect for Steve Vai, is he did not, all the holes that went through the body, the front were all the holes were colored in different colors. The guitar was sparkle green, and every hole had a different color: pink, red, yellow, green, every other. And on the original one, all the holes through the back would have the same colors on them. But on the replica, he didn't make any colors on the back. He wanted Steve's to be the only one like that.
I think I remember the replica of it. The holes weren't as big either.
They were different sizes. They were.
But I'm saying I don't think that Joe drilled out the holes fully.
He did. You're right. You're absolutely right. He drilled the holes one size, and then in the front he would countersink slightly larger, so it would look larger, but they weren't all the way through the same. And it also the replica also had a Charvel hockey stick headstock on it, where the original one had a performance headstock on it.
I'm trying to find, because I have a photo of the replica somewhere. I'm trying to dig it out real quick, because I actually approached Joe, because I asked him, I said, what is this? This isn't Vai's. Did you build this? And he said, yeah, I made a second one, but I didn't do the holes the same.
That's what he meant. He meant the holes by painting the back of it.
But I'm going to show you. The holes are like, he painted the fronts, but he only drilled, he made the holes indents this big, but the actual hole that big,
correct,
through.
Correct. Yes.
And I'm going to try to find a photo of it while I'm talking. But I asked Joe shortly before he died, I said, do you want to make another one with holes like Steve's? And he says, is it for you? And I said, yeah. And he came up with a price, and we were discussing it when Joe basically passed away.
The funny thing is, I can't believe you just said that, because I had asked him the same thing. I had gotten back in touch with him, and he lived in Florida for that's where he passed away, and we became Facebook friends, and we would talk occasionally. And I said, Joe, I'm really interested in you making me a guitar. Would you be interested? And he's like, absolutely. What do you want? I'll build you anything you want, because he doesn't just build anything for anyone. You have to have some sort of, relationship with him.
Right.
And because of the shit that he put me through when I worked for him, and now I can laugh at it. I can laugh at it because I was his intern, and he would teach me how to build guitars, and I would do all the grunt work, like all the sanding and all the stuff that hurts your hands, and then clean up the shop. And then at the end of the week is Dave, I can't pay you. I'm sorry, I don't have the money.
Yeah,
so I'd be like, and I'd be like, it's okay. You're Joe Gem. I'll work for you for free. I don't care. Steve Vai, and blah blah blah, and maybe you can make me a guitar one day. And he was like, yeah, I'll do all that. And he's made me guitars. That was my paycheck back then. Was he would build me a guitar, but I would have to do all the grunt work and sand the guitar, sand the bodies, and sand the neck, and do all the stuff that he didn't want to do. And then at the end, he'd present it to me as my pay, which is cool. All very cool, well and cool. So at the end, no one knew he was going to pass away. So
neither of us did.
So I said to him, I would really like a Swiss cheese. I said, I would like it to be like Steve's. I said, I said, I don't want it to be like Spike's guitar was. I said, it was cool, but I really would like a real replica of it. And he was like, Dave, for you, anything. I'll do anything for you. And that was the last. And he said, let me come up with a price for you. And I said, okay. And then he passed away.
And the same thing, man. He said exactly the same thing. John, as long as it's for you, I'll build you a real Swiss cheese, but don't, basically go and flip it on me.
Yeah.
And I said, great. And he came up with a number and we were discussing it. Here's Steve's original Swiss cheese.
That's it.
Just so you guys can see. Now I want you to look specifically at the holes. You see how deep those holes are? They're varying sizes, but you'll see a lot of them are big holes. Now here's the second one Despagni built, and you'll see the difference in hole size. See, he did the same indents, but the holes are just like drill holes.
That's it. That's exactly the guitar.
You see? Yep. And then that one eventually wound up with a performance neck.
Wow, look at that.
With a performance, or
it was not. It did not start with a performance. It had a Charvel. It had a Charvel, a USA Charvel pointed headstock one, and it was it was beautiful. I got to actually take that guitar home for a week. It's funny because we played a joke on Spike because he got to see the guitar while it was being built. And we said because Steve's had gotten stolen, we had said that his got stolen, and it was at my house for a week. And then miraculously it got found and was presented to Spike.
See, so Spike's guitar had holes, but they were just drill holes through the, the color like that.
Yep, that's it.
Just so that there would be a variation from Steve's, because he didn't want to, make Steve's cheaper, So that's that one. And it's sad. I mean, obviously it's sad because, we were friends with the guy and a tremendous talent in the guitar making industry, Joe Despagni. But I wish I would have, jumped on it faster and yada, yada, yada,
Yeah. Super Fuzz, the original Swiss cheese did not have an EMG. Actually, neither one of them started with EMGs in it. The original Swiss cheese probably had a Duncan in it. Or maybe even a DiMarzio. Probably, you know what? It probably had a DiMarzio. I think Steve had to deal with DiMarzio. So I think it had a DiMarzio. I don't remember which one. Probably a PAF. But the one that Spike had, I believe had a Duncan in it. And I believe it was also a zebra. It had a black and white Duncan in it in the beginning. I'm not sure who put that EMG in there.
And Mike Neese is bringing up George Lynch's Skull and Bones guitar, Mom, the original Mom that was in the 80s. That was designed by John J. Frog Garcia, and that also had an ESP sticker put on it later on when they were doing the It's Not Love video. ESP stopped the shoot and said, whoa, 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 you're an ESP and Dorsey. There you go. Okay. happy shooting. Enjoy your guitar. And that was basically the deal. That was never built by ESP. ESP at one time tried to build a limited run of replicas on it and got sued by J-Frog.
And George is still playing that replica. And the reason I know it's a replica that ESP made is because the bones are very smooth.
Well, what it is, George has one of those 25 replicas made. From those 25, 23 were built, and they stopped production at 23. But there are 2 parts guitars not assembled. Whatever. And George has number 1 of that. Number 1 or number 0, I forget. And then the original Mom was used to make what's called the OG bones.
Yeah, the Craig Rundle's guitar.
That Craig Rundle's built.
And I think Christopher Woods.
That is the most accurate replica of the actual Mom, because he had the guitar in his hands with x-rays and the whole 9 yards to reference to get that. And that guitar sold for $15,000 for the replicas of those, because there's only a handful.
Now, I think Christopher Woods and Craig Rundles were in business together in the very beginning. I think they were both making them together. So I would say that, and now they're not. But
the OGs were built just by Craig with George's approval, basically. and the and ESP basically has no say in it. J-Frog technically has no say in it. The only other person that had a say in it is the owner of the actual guitar that the replica was being made of.
Well, I thought that was in a Hard Rock.
It was until a certain private collector got it out of there with George's help and a lot of money.
Is that you?
I may be not saying it yet for a reason. It might be, it might not be. But I'll tell you one thing. If it is me, who might be waiting for a certain reason to reveal it one day on this show, if it was me, you will know about it before the end of the year. If it was me, I don't know.
Wow.
We'll see.
Yeah, maybe.
But that's why Craig Rundles was able to make such an accurate replica. By the way, there out of that run of OG Bones, there is still one available unspoken for that Craig still has. So if one of you guys out in the audience wants the most correct, accurate, from the same materials, from the same carvings, whole 9 yards, replicas of that guitar that's ever been built, go on Facebook and contact Craig Rundles.
What's his number? Hang on.
He still has that one.
What's his number? I'll call him right now.
I'm not going to give his number out, but go on Facebook, last name Rundles, first name Craig, and you can look on my friends list. He's on there.
Yeah, I think I have as a friend as well. You know what? Maybe I'll see if he'll want to pop on here and talk.
He might.
Let's
he might.
see.
Well, Johnny, you remember Craig was telling the story of that building experience with Lynch at the dinner table at NAMM with us.
Really? Was I there?
This is Johnny Beane. What here?
Okay, I think I remember that. I think
You were there. Craig was walking us through the process of building those.
Mm-hmm.
With Lynch overseeing them.
Mike Neese says, did Ed Ruman have anything to do with J-Frog guitars? Yes, he had everything to do in fucking J-Frog.
Well, yeah. He had nothing to do with the original Mom guitar, or for that reason, Mark Kendall's Shark guitar that I already brought on the show. But in later years, yes, he did sell J-Frog's guitars and fuck him hard.
Yeah, Renus Pinkle asks if John or I have any Ed Roman stories. You know what? I don't really want to talk. I don't want to talk ill of the dead, so I'll leave that right there.
Yeah, let's just put it this way. I'm just going to say this about Ed Roman. He basically took a lot of people's ideas, made copies of them, and didn't get their permission.
And took a lot of people's money.
And gave them,
not good stuff.
He's the Vinnie Vincent of guitar makers. So let's leave it at that. But not a fan. Fruitcake Tony wants to know if I'm not a Guns N' Roses fan. Sure I am. Absolutely.
Yeah, pinnacle of 80s rock. How could you not be?
Yeah, no, I love Guns N' Roses, man. Absolutely. I think Slash is a monster player. I think Guns was a great band. I don't own any of Slash's guitars. They're not really my per se style.
Yeah, but he is not selling any of his guitars. He never sells his guitars.
I mean, Slash likes old BC Riches. I do too, but he buys them. He doesn't sell them. But any of his Les Pauls, it's not really of interest to me personally. I like one of his old Mockingbirds that wound up in the Hard Rock Cafe, but
Mm-hmm.
And someone earlier asked if I could have one of Mick Mars' guitars, which one would I want? I already have one of Mick Mars' guitars. I brought it on the show. That Charvel, that trans orange Charvel, that was also owned by Mark Diglio of XYZ.
I remember that.
I brought that on the show. But if I could have one more, it would be that Theater of Pain Beretta.
Absolutely, that's it. That is the
That's
most. Either that one. It would either be that one, or if it was Mick Mars of today, it would have to be the white Super Strat with the single hum that's all beat up with the Floyd and
I
70 cent stuff.
I would do the red Fender, or is it a Fender or Charvel?
It's not a Charvel. It's a Fender like. I don't know if the red one is an actual Fender. I think it's a company that made it to be like a Fender.
Yeah, it's red with a lot of wear on it.
Beautiful guitar.
Great guitar.
There's a picture of Adam Reaver holding that guitar with Mick right next to him. Really nice guitar.
At empty tone, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Let's see. By the way, we have a lot of people in the chat. We're having a great time tonight. Can we get some thumbs up, please? We'd really appreciate that while we're talking.
And you know what? It's 10 o'clock. Show your other guitar.
Okay. So
because Johnny said he has to leave because he has to get somewhere.
All right. So today's show and tell Mancuda guitar is, I'll cut right to it. For those of you that know, I bought one of Tim Kelly's guitars, one of his Robins, from the late not from the late Tim Kelly, but formerly belonging to the late Tim Kelly of Slaughter, who passed away in a car crash years ago, tragically. And that was my first Robin guitar. It was a Robin Medley. Did I bring that onto the show, Johnny? I think I did. Right?
You did.
I think we, yeah.
I did.
One of the first ones.
It was one of the first,
right.
yeah.
It was an orange Robin Medley. So I really liked the way the Robin Medley played. And a friend of mine said, John, I have a Robin Medley. If you like the way that plays, I got one for you that you should really, really buy. And he was right, because I bought this guy, Pink Robinite.
Wow.
Look at that thing. Check that out.
Man.
For those of you that don't know what Robinite is, it's like a pearloid material on the face.
It looks like drum shell material.
It's like a pearloid, but it's called Robinite. And Tim had one of these in purple Robinite that right now Mark Slaughter is playing. But this one is in hot pink with white binding around it. And let's see if you can get the color. There you go. Give you a better idea of the color. I mean, that thing is bright pink Robinite. And it's got replacement pickups. They came with PJ Marks pickups originally. But this guy replaced them with Van Halen 78s, I think they're called. Duncan.
Yep.
For that brown sound. And it sounds interesting. I've been playing it pretty clean just to hear like what the pickups at, and it's got a nice tone. Rosewood board, maple headstock. And the maple that Robin used was always really nice. Look at the flame on this thing.
Yeah, that is nice.
That. But just look at the flame maple on that.
Beautiful.
Really, really nice. Great neck profile, really comfortable. Great upper access. Look at that cutaway. Really nice design on these. Just a lot of room there, but still holding a nice strap body shape. And again, obviously the color, that's my color.
Yeah, that looks really nice. And it looks cooler in different lighting.
Yeah, and again, this is Robin licensed Floyd Rose, recessed, volume tone, 5-way pickup selector. Really great playing guitars. If you get this is a 91. If you get a chance to try an old Robin Medley, give it a shot, because this is my second one, and I love the thing. It's really, really well built in Texas by hand. There you go. That's today's show. Guitar kids.
Amazing.
Yeah, very cool.
Brett McCord asks, have we seen that guitar besides the Captain America shield? Yeah, that's CC DeVille's original Nagel. I've had that on the show before. And Renus Pinkle says there's a lot of DNA on my iPad screen. Yeah, after I rub one out, I squeegee it, but I've never really given it a good wash, so it's still got a lot of my children hanging out on the screen. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So if you like that guitar or Dave's guitar or just the show tonight, please give a thumbs up.
Absolutely.
We appreciate that. Let's see. What else we got? Let's see. Josh Lemus asks, hey, Dave, Johnny, and John, settle an argument me and my brother had yesterday. Steve Lukather versus Neil Schon. Who wins?
Steve Lukather.
Lukather.
I'm going to be the outsider and pick Neil Schon.
I'm not saying Neil Schon is bad. He's a very good guitar player. In fact, he's a great guitar player. But Lukather, his note choices are way sweeter. He's just a better guitar player.
Well,
really a better guitar player.
I mean, when I think of those two guys, you think of Neil Schon, and I think of Journey.
That's what I think of.
I think of just Journey. You think of Lukather, you think of Toto, you think of Michael Jackson's Thriller, you think of the Tubes. There's so many other, he's played on so many things. Mm-hmm.
And I love the Tubes, but I have to say, hearing the solo, the emotion that he puts in the solo from Stone in Love on Journey's album, holy shit. And
it's one song, though. It's only one song, like I said, Schon is a great guitar player. I don't take anything away from him.
Lukather's probably better technically, but I like Schon better as a player, just what he's written.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Journey!
I don't care. I don't care. And not for nothing, Neil Schon did not write those songs. Jonathan Cain did.
Well, he played the shit out of them.
Mm-hmm. Those are all piano songs.
Yes, they're all piano songs.
It's not Stone in Love.
Yes, Jonathan Cain wrote that song.
I know. I'm saying as far as playing wise.
But Toto has a lot of piano songs too. I mean, they both.
Yeah, but I can't compare Rosanna to Stone in Love and hear the emotions he's pouring through a guitar.
I don't know.
I think Lukather is a better technical player, but I think Neil Schon is a better. He's playing with more soul.
But to me, real quick, and I know I do got to get out of here at some point. I'll take Africa by Toto over anything Journey.
Yes,
Gonna
anything.
take a lot to drag me away. Baby.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yes, that over this.
Well, I don't know if you can play that, but yeah.
I'm playing it wrong anyway because I hit bad notes.
Okay.
Super Fuzz. I have, I think 6 of George Lynch's guitars. 6 of his actual owned guitars. And eventually they will all wind up on the show.
On that bed.
On this bed. Just like where George Lynch took me to get those guitars.
And Vista Light 1972, yes, Hardline. Now that was a great band. That band should never have broken up. With Dean Castronova on drums, absolutely, and Neil Schon on guitar. And I don't remember the name of the singer, but he's got one of the best voices in rock and roll. I can't remember his name.
That wasn't John Waite, was it?
No, that's Bad English. Another great band.
That was great.
Oh, okay.
Bad English.
Who was guitarist in Bad English?
Huh?
Who was guitarist in Bad English?
Who do you think it was?
Come on, who was it?
Neil Schon.
That's right, it was Neil Schon.
I'll still take.
Yeah, me too.
I still take Toto over any of them.
Absolutely.
Come on, listen to that song, "Forget Me Not."
Dude,
never heard it.
I'm sorry, but I don't have any Neil Schon guitars, but I've got a couple of these.
There it is.
I've got a couple of these.
Oh, remember the Neil Schon?
I didn't like
his
guitars. I'll admit that. Who built those? Jackson?
Yeah.
They were built by Jackson. Yes.
And they made pink ones.
I didn't like his style of guitars. I'll admit that, but I liked his playing. So to settle the argument with you and your brother, Steve Lukather gets 2 votes. I'm voting for Neil.
Howie also said Toto.
Yeah.
Oh, I think he was talking about the dog, though.
You're
He's
voting
looking.
for you're voting for Neil and Bob, and
I know those guys from prison.
yeah.
Gary Tholander says Robert Despagni is building guitars now.
That's what I hear. Yeah, his brother
Oh,
Robert's
he's
building
building?
him, I believe. And cool, I love Robert too.
Yeah.
He was great
Robert's a
people
good
back
guy.
then.
That's Joe's brother, for those that don't know. Now, Soda Pop, I never said I owned Lynch's J Frog's Bone Guitar Mom. I speculated. I might not. We'll see sometime. Sometime on the show, we'll see if I do or don't.
And Renus Pinkle, how do you know what I play and what I don't play? Are you in my house 24 hours a day? Do you have a nanny cam here?
He's watching you through the window, though.
I've got 9 guitars right in front of me here. I've got 2 Lukathers. I've got a Van Halen EVH.
A nanny
I've
cam.
got several Ibanez
You mean
gems.
a naughty cam?
And the guitars that I have right in front of me here by the computer are the guitars I play every day. Just because I don't play them on the TV show, on this computer show for you, doesn't mean that I don't play them.
Rena says he sent you a stuffed animal, and at night when you're sleeping, he goes. That's it. It's coming from inside the house.
It sees this.
He's watching. He's like, Dave, you're not so bad in bed. Huh? What?
Yeah.
The teddy bear said that.
Right.
The
And
Teddy's turning his head, and you just
Soda
hear the sound of a camera lens.
Soda asked where I got the Lynch body. Chris Locke Guitars made the body and neck on this guitar.
Cobra Cabretti says he has a Robin Machete guitar. Machete, is it pronounced machete? I think it's pronounced machete, right? I think that's how you pronounce it. Those things are great, man.
Johnny's leaving. He left. It's just us.
The kids are in control of the school. Party! Hey, we're all going to get laid.
Well, not you, anyway.
Not,
Not today.
I'm still trying to lose my virginity.
Oh, God.
Thank you guys for the kind words about both our guitars tonight. We really appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Mike Keith, Papa Blue, is that 7/8 hot pink? Asking about my Robin. No, Dave's is closer to Jay's hot pink than mine was.
Yeah. In fact, I'm sure if you call this hot pink, it's more believable than the guitar they sent Jay.
Absolutely. Hey, Sean Zimmerman, shout out.
Yeah.
Definitely not Kiesel pink.
Unbelievable. I don't think there's ever a show where we're go ahead.
Say what?
I said I don't think there's ever a show where we're not going to badmouth that company.
No, there's not, because it's almost one of our sponsors. I mean, It's like you got Tessie Switch, we love, Swiss Picks, we love, Pariah Pickups, we love, Red Dragon Guitars, we love, and then there's Kiesel and Jasco Plumbing Supply, we love, and
Yeah.
Kiesel
Absolutely.
just kind of squeezes in there in the negative zone.
Just terrible.
Renus wants to know if I own any of Phil Collins' guitars or any of the production ones either. Renus, I don't, but I think, aren't those necks really wide?
Not the production ones. The production ones are considerably a lot thinner than Phil's himself.
Because Phil's is really wide,
Well,
right?
it's not. They're not the width. It's from front to back. His are really like a baseball bat. Like,
Okay.
as big
That's
as you
funny.
can get. The production ones are a lot smaller. They're more like regular feeling.
And I also have a mat on for guitars that come without fret markers. I mean, I own a few, but I just hate when they like purposely don't come without fret markers. Like I have a couple from the 80s that's like, all right, it's vintage. They ordered it that way, blah, blah, blah. But like when specifically nowadays a guitar doesn't have fret markers, I know it's popular, but it's a pet peeve of mine. It looks incomplete to me, and it's a bitch because I should be looking at top dots but I'm looking at fret markers and it fucks me up.
Well, I'll tell you a quick story. This black Kramer pacer that I have, this Carrera, when I first got it, it didn't have any fret markers because the Carrera doesn't have any. It was the reason for it. Basically, that's a Kramer Pacer Imperial in all black, which Dennis Berardi, who was the president of Kramer in the 80s, he wanted to name that guitar after the color of his black Porsche Carrera. And it was all black, nothing on it. There was nothing that showed any color on it at all, except for the headstock had a gold decal.
Nice.
And when I got it, it needed a fret job, and the guitar is beat up. It was very well played, all beat up, and the back of the neck has a lot of paint missing from just the guy who owned it before me played it. It was his only guitar. So when I got it, I couldn't deal with no fret markers, so I had white dots put in the fretboard, just like I said. Did
you actually have markers installed, or you got the stickers?
No, I had markers installed. It's real deal.
What I would do.
Yeah, real deal.
I have I don't know if I had it on the show before. One of my old BC Rich Bitch 10s was a custom order without fret markers, and I almost had like the cloud inlays installed from Neil Moser, and I was like, you know what? It was originally ordered specifically without it. I don't want to take away from its originality, so I left it that way. And same thing with I have two old Charvels that way too, without fret markers, purposely ordered that way. So I want to, but I'm not going to, you know? So it's just kind of forcing me to like learn to play with top dots.
Right.
You know? And I play that guitar like through the week, so it's like that one's always out now, so I could kind of get more used to it. There's a lot of talk in the chat. A lot of people are split on this Steve Lukather
Neil Schon
deal. And, you know, the general gist is, yeah, Lukather is versatile. Lukather is probably a better technical player, but Schon has that melody. And everyone's giving examples in the chat of really, really good examples of both players. It's making for a strong argument.
I don't know.
And Phil X says, I'm sorry, Soda says Phil X played with Aldo Nova.
Yeah.
Phil X into the mix.
I love Phil X.
Yeah, I do too. I love Aldo Nova.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, who doesn't love Aldo? And Aldo actually discovered Bon Jovi.
He did.
Yes.
And then Bon Jovi brought him back
and opened for him. That's right.
Yeah. For the Blood on the Bricks tour, which I saw live, and it was terrific. Let's see. A lot of talk in the chat between the two of them.
Life is
looking through. Charles Green says justice for Jay, which we're all happy Jay got that gorgeous yellow Ibanez. Justice indeed. Man deserved it. No thanks to Kisu.
Unbelievable.
Let's see. What else we got talking Phil Collin.
Well,
do I have any GMP guitars? Now, here's the thing. GMP, for those that don't know, is Dan Lawrence's company. Dan Lawrence, very famous guitar painter from the Jackson days, from the BC Rich days, GMW, worked with Neil Moser, and he basically bought GMP guitars and is now building really great handmade guitars that are incredibly painted, and they're very well made. I don't own any, but I've played a lot of them, and at some point, I'm sure, because Dan has some of my BC Riches for paint jobs. At some point, when those are done, I will buy a GMP because they're great. I know a lot of guys play them. CC DeVille plays them now. The guys in Warrant play them. Even one of Tom Keifer's band the other day, his guitarist Mike has a Silver Sparkle GMP. They're really good guitars. If you haven't tried one, I recommend you try one.
Mm-hmm. So Ron John says, do you own any Ibanez Reb Beach signature, the originals, John Mancuda? So I'm going to answer, we both have owned the same exact guitar. It was, what's that, an RB2?
RBM2.
RBM2.
With a Hawaiian Koa top over mahogany.
We both own that guitar. It's number 75 with Reb's autograph on it. And now John owns it.
What an amazing playing guitar. I originally, and I love Reb as a player. We're very big fans of Winger on the show. I know Jay is. I know I am. Dave.
Yeah, in fact, on Saturday night, I had a Winger Wednesday shirt on.
Oh, cool. Yeah, and I've always been a huge Winger fan. Fuck Beavis and Butthead. I love Winger. But Reb, monster player. And I had someone had a rare Kramer Crackle Hollow finish original that I wanted to get out of them. And they said, if you could find me a Reb Beach, the limited edition, the RBM2 with the Hawaiian Koa top, I will trade you for one of those. That's all I want. So I hunted. I found one of those. I didn't even have it sent to me to play. And I traded for the Kramer I wanted. Flash forward, a friend of Dave and mine's goes to sell his, our friend Joe. Dave gets it on consignment from Joe and is basically selling it for Joe. And I go to Dave's house and play it. I'm like, holy shit. I didn't even know I wanted one of these until I played this. And Dave and I eventually worked out that I bought it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thrilled with it. The neck on it is phenomenal. Very unique for an Ibanez neck. It's not a wizard neck. It's not a regular neck. Well, I mean, what would you say? It's like kind of, I guess the edges are really rounded.
It's not a wizard neck at all. It's more like a if any of you have played an Ernie Ball Eddie Van Halen model guitar, it's very narrow from side to side and rounded in the back. It's so comfortable, but it's not asymmetrical. It's even on both sides. Where the Van Halen is rounder on the bottom, where the fatter strings are on the bottom, and then comes flatter towards where the top strings are. This is even round on both sides, but not terribly deep. And it's very narrow from side to side, so it's super comfortable.
I think Reb helped design that neck.
Yeah,
it's very unique.
And I believe Superfuzz says that Reb's original was a Pensa Sur before he went to Ibanez. Now I don't know if that's the truth or not, because he was using Kramer. He was using Kramer and went right from Kramer to Ibanez.
Correct.
And then once his deal with Ibanez was done,
went to
Pensa Sur or just Sur Guitars made that guitar for him from his Ibanez. It's basically a really nice replica of the Ibanez without the cutout in the body.
Yeah, it's a Koa Strat or Koa Top Strat. And so Sur came after Ibanez for Reb, actually.
Yeah. Now, and because of that deal that I brokered for John, just shortly after that, I received a beautiful gift in the mail from John. This was my gift. This was a beautiful gift that I can never thank John enough for this gift.
But you deserve that, man. You earned that gift.
Thank you very much. And it gets played almost every day. It's what an incredible gift this is. This guitar and the Larry Mitchell guitar are my two most sentimental owned guitars. I will never ever get rid of either one.
I'm glad you dig that, brother. You really deserve that. And hey, Mike Keith Papa Blue, send me a package, man. Talk to me on Facebook. People send me stuff all the time in the mail. I'm thrilled if you would do that for me. I love that. He's got some comic books for me. Dude,
cool.
I'm super grateful. Really appreciate that. Let's see. Looking through the chat, just catching up on you guys. A lot of love for Aldo Nova, and I'm really glad to hear that, because I'll tell you something. When I was a kid and I heard Fantasy, holy shit, I still play that song.
Right.
I love that riff.
Oh, you know what? I can't just invite. I was just gonna invite Jay into this, but I can't invite him in because Johnny is gone.
Oh,
but he
Johnny
has
has
the thing.
the
I was
key.
just gonna give him the. I was gonna give him the link, but he won't be able to get in.
Shit. The great Jay Hannon, we miss him, or I miss him. And yeah, Mad Dog is right. Aldo Nova wrote for John Bon Jovi. He wrote the Blaze of Glory song from the Young Guns movie soundtrack. That was Aldo's writing. And yes, Super Fuzz, Warrant plays GMP. They're very good friends with Dan Lawrence. A lot of us are, because Dan's a great guy, and he's a great builder. And we shout out if Dan's watching. We love you, man. Yeah, Gabrielle Tone Guitar says Neil Schon's a better Jew, bro. Is he one of the tribe? I guess.
Oh yeah, Neil Schon. Neil Schon is not. He's Italian.
Is he Italian?
Yeah.
So what are you saying he's Jewish for, man? I mean,
Yeah,
hey,
he's Italian.
We intermarry a lot. I've got both in my family. So let's see. Looking through the chat. Soda says Ryan Roxy played GMPs. And GMP has a model named the Roxy after Dan's dog, Roxy. Sean Zimmerman is not buying a Kiesel. Thank you. Not that we condone that or don't condone that, but we just kind of speak our minds of what's going on. But he says he's not buying a Kiesel because they ruined it for him watching what they sent Jay. And that's why you support our sponsors. You buy your guitars at Red Dragon or Capital or anyone that's done nice things for us. Music Zoo watches the show. We love them. And, all our sponsors. You need parts, you call Tessie Switch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Swiss Picks, we love them. Rob
here is one thing I'm going to unveil on the show as well. I didn't actually talk to Johnny about it, but I'm going to unveil it right now. The Guitar Whisperer is my new company. We do setups and we build guitars. We do guitar builds. We'll do any bolt-on neck guitar you could think of, pretty much. So if you need anything, if you need any guitars set up, contact me. My website is theguitarwhisperer.guru. That's the Guitar Whisperer, WHISPERER.GURU. And send me an email. Let me know what you'd like.
Now let me chime in here because Dave is in Long Island, New York, which is my hometown originally too. And I've played so many of Dave's guitars at his house. Let me just tell you, and this isn't because I'm friends with him. This isn't because I'm co-hosting a show with him. I'm being very straightforward with you guys. If you guys are in New York and you want a guitar setup that is probably the best that I've ever played in New York, no shit, Dave has worked through the years for a who's who of guitar builders and stores and whatnot. The setups that Dave does, I don't know how the fuck he gets the action the way it does, the playability the way it does, but I've played so many of his guitars and they're set up amazingly. Any guitars that I need set up in New York, I'm going to nag the shit out of him. I'll be there at 3 a.m. He'll be making love, and I'll be knocking on his door. Hey, you got to look at my Kramer. Hey, Dave.
Well, here's the thing. I have one really great customer that I mean, I've got a few customers, but I've got this one customer who lives in South Carolina, and he has shipped me a guitar a week for the last 3 weeks to set up, and paid all the shipping, paid me what I asked for, and he has been in love with every guitar that I've sent back to him. Like, he can't believe it.
Dude, that Reb Beach that I bought from you is perfect. I couldn't get the action so perfect from anyone I know out here. I assure you, if you guys are like even thinking about, I have a guitar, it plays good, but it could play better, Send it to this guy.
Yeah, Jimmy T says, "I wish Dave could do a setup for me." All you got to do is go on the guitarwhisperer.guru, go to the contact section, just put your your name and phone number in there. I'll call you back, or if you want, put your email address in there. Tell me what you want done. I will contact you. We will talk about it. You just send me your instrument. I'll fix it. I'll make it the way you want. Send it back to you, and then you pay me. You don't have to pay me up front because, of course, I have your instrument. The only thing you'll be paying for is shipping back and forth plus whatever it costs to fix the instrument. And I have a very fast turnaround. It's within a few days of me getting it. If I get a guitar on Wednesday, I will probably be shipping it back out to you on Thursday or Monday. I do very fast work. I do very thorough work. I work here from the house, so it's very easy. I will call him back. So yeah, Guitar Whisperer.
Asking about a setup. You better pick that up.
No, that's my buddy Dennis. Guitar Whisperer, the guitarwhisperer.guru. And just just look at the website, and if you want to contact me and talk to me about what you'd like done, please do. I'd be happy to do it. And Mad Dog, absolutely, I'd be very happy to build you something, anything you want, guitar wise, that is.
Mm-hmm. Not a sandwich.
No, I can build a good sandwich too, as you can tell by the way I look.
Mm-hmm. Okay, all right, I gotta go.
And just for the I just Googled it. Neil Schon is not Jewish because a couple people in the chat are saying they are, but he gets asked that a lot if he is. But he technically is not Jewish.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where that became a controversy.
Johnny, what do you think? You didn't go to Ace yet? Did
No, I got to split.
Yeah, let's say goodnight.
Yeah, I gotta go. I have to run to the store, which is like 2 towns over. All right, thanks for watching, you guys.
Oh, real quick, Mike Neese on my Facebook channel, which is called the Guitar Whisperer. If you give that a like, in the very near future, I will be doing how-to videos on that channel, on that page. So I don't know that I'll be doing full setup, showing you how to do full setups, but I'll be showing you little bits and pieces that you'll be able to, put together, and you just watch out for that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And guys, as always, please leave a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel. Please tell your friends. Thank you guys for listening. For those of you that are listening to our podcast. And as always, we really, really, really appreciate you guys joining us every time. Thank you so much. Leave comments. We read them. We love you guys. We really do. We really appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny, got anything to close with?
Yeah, we love you all.
I have one more thing before Johnny. I just want to thank Johnny Beane for teaching me how to do this part so that I can bring you my website and bring you my new Facebook page and have the balls to get on here and talk to the computer. So I want to thank Johnny for 4+ good years of doing this, and I'm not ending it with him. I'm staying on here with you guys. I'm not going anywhere. It's just I need to make a little money as well. So I need to also do some other things, but I'll be here.
And I want to thank Johnny for bringing Dave on so that I could see Dave's balls on here that he was just discussing.
They're like this.
They're flapping in the wind and slapping against the steering wheel.
Oh,
but most of all, seriously, thank all you guys for staying with us. We're really grateful for you. We love you guys. So check it out. And Jay Hannon, if you're out there watching, we love you, brother.
Yes, and we'll be back Friday with, I guess, possibly a new guitar Dave.
And we also have a guest, Ronnie Lee, who is one of the band members of the Runaways in the 70s.
Nice.
She was one of the original members of the Runaways, and she also co-wrote The Wild and Young, or is it Young and Wild?
Young
which
and
was
Wild.
The Young and Wild, which is a song, a Van Halen song that never made it to a record. But if you have those early demos, the early Van Halen demos from like '77, you'll hear the Young and Wild on there, and Ronnie co-wrote that with David Lee Roth.
That's cool.
And we love the Runaways because, hello, Daddy. Hello, Mom. I'm your cherry bomb. I love that song, man. I can sing that all day.
That's right.
Awesome. All right, we'll see you guys later. And yeah, I got to run to the store.
All right, man. Well, I got to split. I can't stay for the after show. I got to split. So.
Oh, yeah, I got to split too.
All right, we're all out of here. We love you guys.
See you all Friday.
Thumbs up, comments. Love you all.
Yeah, everybody. Goodbye.
See you next Tuesday.
Who are you calling?
Ghostbusters.